Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to be looking at the McFarlane DC Multiverse McFarlane Collector's Edition Wonder Woman. It is finally here. The long wait is over. An iconic, classic, traditional Wonder Woman has finally been delivered by McFarlane Toys. We can finally complete the main members of the Justice League in comic style, and she looks fantastic so far. I pre-ordered her for the McFarlane Toy Store, and she finally arrived today. So let's take a look. Starting at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane Toys, ages 12 plus, McFarlane Collector's Edition, DC Multiverse, Wonder Woman. Here she is in the package. She has a sword, a shield, lasso of truth, an axe, 4 alternate hands totaling 6 interchangeable hands, a display stand, a collector's card, and a display stand for a collector's card, decked out with accessories, just like the collector's edition should be. One side of the package, McFarlane Collector's Edition, Wonder Woman from Who is Wonder Woman? Figure number 10 in the Collector's Edition subline. On the back, here's a picture of Wonder Woman from the comics. On the other side, just says Wonder Woman. And at the bottom, there's her barcode, in case that helps anybody. So with no further ado, let's open her up. Alright, now that this figure out of the package, here she is with all of her accessories laid out, and she comes with a bunch of cool stuff. She has a display stand, a collector's card, display stand for a collector's card, 4 alternate hands totaling 6 interchangeable hands, her lasso of truth, shield, an axe, and a sword, decked out with accessories just like the collector's edition figures should be. But before we take a look at all that, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is Wonder Woman. Her real name is Diana Prince. She's an Amazonian. Her mother is an Amazonian. Her father is Zeus. So not only is she strong like the Amazon, she also has some of the blood of the old gods in her as well. Her powers are pretty strong, not as strong as Superman's. She has super strength. She's almost invulnerable. In some versions she can fly, very athletic, and she has a bunch of weapons. Her signature weapon being her lasso of truth. So let's take a look at her. Start with her face. It looks great. See Wonder Woman there. She has her tiara, a little red star at the top, long black hair. As we go further down, she has a sort of armored look on her torso, gold Wonder Woman logo, shiny red sort of suit. Then she has the little shorts, blue with white stars all around it, kind of like the American flag, an all-American hero. She has her bracelets here. They absorb energy. Double jointed knees, double jointed elbows. We have an area she can hang her lasso off her side. And I've seen a lot of people complaining about her shoes or boots. They kind of have tread on them, look a little bit tennis shoey, but I'd say it really doesn't bother me very much. I'd say it's not that bad in person. As a whole, I think it's a pretty good looking figure. Everyone keeps referring to this Wonder Woman as classic Wonder Woman. When I hear the word classic, I think old school, Silver Age, and I don't really think this is a quote-unquote classic Wonder Woman. This is a normal, iconic Wonder Woman, and I really appreciate that. I can't believe it took McFarlane almost 4 full years to get one of these out there. People have been screaming about this since day one, but I just don't agree with the term classic for this. Maybe for the Platinum Chase variant that's sort of in the more superpowers color scheme. I don't know, what do you guys think? What does the word classic mean to you? To me, it just screams an old school Wonder Woman. I think the word iconic is more appropriate for her, but I could be wrong. Curious to hear your guys' opinion. Drop me a line in the comments below. And a closer look at her face and head sculpt. I think it's good. It's not great, but it's everything I wanted from a traditional looking Wonder Woman. And a closer look at her tiggle bitties. And I've had a lot of requests for the backside here. Now, looks pretty good. Wonder Woman has always been sort of a voluptuous, curvy woman. And if you move the legs down, she kind of has sculpted ass cheeks below. Tucks into place. Looks pretty good. So, I can get past the shoes. It doesn't bother me too much, although the tread at the bottom looks kind of weird. Kind of takes away from the traditional Wonder Woman boots. Whatever, it doesn't bother me too much. One thing that does bother me is her butterfly joints. They look decent right now, but if you move the figure around a bunch, they can have this really big gap in there. They can look really bad posing wise. This side in particular, you can really see that gap. Just be aware of that when you pose her. She could look good or kind of bad. And here's the figure, broken down as far as she can go, with all of her removable parts detached. Now let's check out her accessories, starting off with the boring stuff. Here's her display stand. Typical McFarlane stand we've seen a million times before. It's a black circle. The only difference here is this one has DC and silver at the bottom. It's very thin, very basic. Now for our collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of Wonder Woman from the comics. McFarlane Collector's Edition. On the back side, there's a description. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause now. Now it doesn't do much for me, but if you want to display her collector's card next to the figure, here you go. It's a shame to see. This is where the extra money goes in the collector's edition line. Now let's check out her hands. She has a total of 6 of them. 3 right hands and 3 left hands. Here she is with the first pair of hands. These are her fists. And here's her second pair of hands. This is a pair of gripping hands with trigger fingers. Now she definitely needs some gripping hands to hold her sword or her axe, but she damn sure doesn't need any trigger fingers. Wonder Woman is not going to be holding any guns. Just some lazy reuse there. And here's her last pair of hands. This is a pair of open hands. I don't see myself getting a lot of use out of these ones. Now for her lasso of truth. I'm a little bit disappointed with this thing. If it was a bendy wire, it would be a lot better. As it is, it's just a string. You won't be able to put it in any poses. It's sort of shiny. It's very long, but like I said, it's just a string. Here's Wonder Woman holding that lasso. You might want to sort of tie it in a little circle at one end. Now I took the lasso and sort of wrapped it around her hand 3 or 4 times. That way it'll hold in there securely. But I really wish it was a bendy wire. Yeah, you can still sort of wrap it around your enemies and have it sort of stretched out. It looked pretty cool like that. But like I said, I think they could have done better. Here's Wonder Woman holstering that lasso. It is not going to stay on here if you move around a lot. I'd say this is not actual functioning holster. Now to look at her sword, axe, and shield. These are all reused from the Justice League Endless Winter Wonder Woman, but they're all pretty good. Sword here, blade, nothing really special going on. Handle looks pretty good, nice amount of sculpting detail, painted in gold. And the axe has a nice amount of sculpting detail on the blade there, all kind of spikes and different notches. And a nice amount of sculpting detail on the handle, also done in gold. And then we have her shield. Ton of sculpting detail all over this thing. It has the Wonder Woman logo on the front and the back. Her arm will go through that to hold it. Here's Wonder Woman holding her sword. And here she is holding her axe, which she can hold with either one hand or with 2. Of course, she can hold both her weapons at the same time. Here's Wonder Woman holding her shield. Her arm just sort of slides inside, and then you can have her holding it in front of her. Here's Wonder Woman holding both her sword and shield, the weapons I associate with Wonder Woman, at least a lot more than an axe. And this Wonder Woman figure is articulate enough to cross her arms over, using her 2 bracelets to deflect energy, send it right back to you. Now I want to check out the reuse on this figure. She shares a lot of parts from the Crime Syndicate Superwoman, so let's take a look. Starting with their heads, of course, they are completely different. I'd say the shoulders, they look to be the same. The biceps, exactly the same. And then the forearm, it's going to be a little different. Wonder Woman's bracelet is a lot different than Superwoman's. It has the same hands with the trigger fingers, which is really weird for these figures. The torso area is definitely going to be different. She has the Wonder Woman armor. She's got sort of this dress type thing. I'd say the diaper area is a little bit different. The legs appear to be the same. The knees are the same. Of course, the bottom part of the legs are going to have to be different. She has the boots, and she has those, I don't know what you even call that. I guess boots as well. Feet different. As a whole, both very nice figures, but Wonder Woman definitely surpassed Superwoman. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and her accessories, now for her height. From bottom to the top of her head, standing at about 7.3 inches tall, which can translate to 18.5 centimeters. Now she's a little bit on the taller side of things if you look at the McFarlane line as a whole, not compared to certain individual figures, but on the average, and I'm okay with that. In Amazon, women should be very tall. I personally think Wonder Woman should be taller, as tall, if not taller, than Batman and Superman. Now for articulation. Starting with her head, of course, it can rotate from side to side, and if you want to, the hair can get over there and you can rotate the head all the way around. She can look up, not much, the hair's blocking that, down about that far. She can tilt her head from side to side, but you're not going to get any of that to stick. The hair is going to obstruct that. Shoulders, on a ball joint, goes out more than 90 degrees, up, down, around, all that good stuff. These butterfly joints can look really bad. They're way too loose, can look very awkward, and that goes for both sides. She has a bicep cut below that, and it wants to fight you. As you can see, it's sort of sculpted to keep the bicep in a forward position. You can do it, but it's going to look kind of bad because of sculpting, and it's going to fight you every step of the way. Double jointed elbows below that. Her wrist can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. In her torso, it's one solid piece, which really surprises me. I figured she would have a ball joint cut under here, but she doesn't. And it does look better this way, although I want as much articulation as I can get. She does have ball joint in her waist. Rotate around, forward and back. Move around about this much. The articulation is not that much worse than if she has two joints there, and it looks much better this way. Legs, completely does the splits. McFarlane style hip joints. Rotation is non-existent. Then go forward all the way. Back, not much. Double jointed knees below that. And then her ankles, forward and back. Rotate. Tilt. Rock. And of course, to articulation. Here's a look at Wonder Woman standing in some old ruins of Themyscira. And a closer look at Wonder Woman in these old ruins. Here's a look at Wonder Woman taking on Steppenwolf from Zack Snyder's Justice League. And here she is, fighting Cheetah in hand-to-hand combat. Then, here's Wonder Woman trying to bring down Kalibak with her lasso of truth. And finally, here's Wonder Woman blocking Superwoman's heat vision with her bracelets, sending it right back to her. Now stick around. Next is one of their action figures, starting off with some of their Wonder Woman figures. Here she is, next to the Gal Gadot 1984 Wonder Woman. This was McFarlane's first Wonder Woman figure, and until now, it's been my favorite. And here she is, next to the Todd McFarlane designed Wonder Woman. Cool, but weird. Then, with the Death Metal Wonder Woman, I'm not really a fan. Then, next to the Batman Last Stand on Earth Wonder Woman. I like the body, but I'm not feeling the mohawk. And now, with the Justice League Endless Winter Wonder Woman. It's a good looking Wonder Woman figure if you want a fully clothed, sort of winter gear Wonder Woman. And finally, with the Target exclusive Flashpoint Wonder Woman. It's a good looking Wonder Woman, armored suit, but definitely not her normal look by any means. Here are all of the different McFarlane DC Multiverse Wonder Woman figures. We have a total of 13 of them. It's about time we got a regular, iconic comic Wonder Woman. Here she is, with all of my DC Direct and DC Collectibles Wonder Woman figures. Then, with the Noble Toys Bendy figure Wonder Woman. And now, with all of my Mattel Wonder Woman figures. And here are all the different 6 and 7 inch scale Wonder Woman figures that I have. Quite the collection, and there are a whole bunch that I don't have. Here she is, next to a McFarlane Donna Troy. And here, with a Mattel Wonder Girl Cassie figure. Here she is, next to some traditional Justice League comic members of the Trinity, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman. Then, with some more modern comic versions of the Justice League. She fits in great. She's the gap we've needed for so long now. I was thinking, what are the main members of the Justice League that were missing? Comic versions, modern by McFarlane. Green Arrow and Black Canary come to mind. We do have the Injustice 2 Green Arrow, but I want a comic version. And then Hawkgirl comes to mind. They've really hit all the main ones at this point. Yeah, I want a cyborg that's not a monstrosity giant. But for now, this'll do. McFarlane DC Multiverse collection shaping up. Now stick around. Next to some other McFarlane Collector's Edition figures. Here she is, next to both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of the first appearance Superman, Alan Scott Green Lantern, and the Abyss. These are from the first wave of Collector's Edition figures. Then, next to the second wave of McFarlane Collector's Edition figures, both the regular and the Platinum Chase variants of Firestorm, Hawkman, and Sinestro. And now, next to the third wave of McFarlane Collector's Edition figures, Captain Carrot, Superman, and Batman as Green Lantern. Now each of these figures has a Platinum Chase variant out there, and so does Wonder Woman. I'm on the hunt for all 4 of them. If anybody has a lead on where I can get one, please drop me a line in the comments below. It's much appreciated. Now, rumor is the next wave of McFarlane Collector's Edition figures is going to be Captain Boomerang, Penguin, and Starfire. I hope that rumor turns out to be true. Could see some really cool things there. Now stick around. Next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here she is, next to the big bad Toy Store exclusive, gold label, black and white accent, Aquaman, and Joker. Here's Wonder Woman, next to some recent McFarlane Toy Store exclusive figures. We have the black and white, line art, sketch Black Manta, the Batman Deadly Duo Joker, the patina variant of Merciless, and the Interrogation Room Heath Ledger Joker. And here she is, next to the Batman and Robin movie wave, collective build, Arnold Schwarzenegger Mr. Freeze. Then, with some recent Target exclusive figures, Midnighter and Wave Rider. And now, with the Target exclusive Flashpoint wave, collective build Cyborg. Here she is, next to the Amazon exclusive Glow in the Dark variants of the Infected Batman, Titan Joker, Swamp Thing, and Jon Stewart Green Lantern. And here, next to some Entertainment Earth exclusive figures, we have the Blacklight figure on the left, and some sketch light art figures on the right. Then, next to the Injustice 2, Superman, and Brainiac. And now, with the Last Night on Earth, Batman vs. Omega 2-pack. And finally, next to the Dark Knights of Steel Batman, and both versions of the Jim Gordon Batman. Now stick around, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how she fits in, both scale and style-wise, in case you don't know what lines you can mix her with. Since she's a McFarlane toy, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work my smaller. But first, let's check her out with some of her McFarlane toys brothers and sisters. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane toys, all 7-inch scale. And now, with some Jakks-specific wrestling figures, and some DST or Diamond Select toys. Here's Wonder Woman, next to a tennis ball. Here she is, with some DC Direct, and some NECA figures. And here she is, next to both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures. Then, with some Mezco and Mattel DC figures. And now, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends. And finally, with some SH Figure Arts and some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, it's a fantastic figure. This has been a long time coming. Now, there is a lot of reuse between Superwoman and Wonder Woman. And you know what? That's okay. This is what I call smart reuse. It looks great. Now here are my complaints about the figure. Her shoes and boots look a little bit weird with the tread there, but it doesn't bother me as much as I've seen some other people online. The butterfly joints on her shoulders are loose and they can easily reveal the gaps. Now that does bother me. The lasso really needs to be a bendy wire. This thing can damn near be useless at times. And then no ball joints in the torso. It doesn't really bother me, and it actually looks better, but I could see some people complaining about that. Now things that are good, she looks fantastic. She looks amazing. Her accessories are plentiful. The axe, the sword, the shield, the lasso, the extra hands, the stands, etc. But the majority of it is all reuse. Her articulation is pretty good. The only thing limiting is her hair limits the head a little bit from going side to side or looking up. Sculpt and paint job are excellent. No issues there. If I were to rate this figure, I'm going to give her a solid 8.5 out of 10. Very high rating in my book. This is a figure I've waited for a long time, and they did not disappoint. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.